Justice for Heather Turner.
Most everybody mentions their religion and talk about God.
After our first season aired, I got a Facebook message from someone who felt they had a case that we really needed to be looking into. In 2017, a young mother, Heather Turner, 35 years old, super active in the church, she's found dead. It's reported that it's a suicide, and yet, 5 years later, her death is still an open case in this town, still under investigation, and the cause of her death is still undetermined. And there are a number of people in this town that really feel like there's so much more to this story.
A woman was found shot to death in the bathroom of her Paulding County home. The case is now getting renewed attention. It was recently profiled on a national crime show, and tonight police tell us it is an active investigation. Channel 2's Justin Wilfon joins us now live from Paulding County. And Justin, the big question here is whether this was suicide or possibly homicide.
Yeah, Wendy, that really has been the big question since day one in this ongoing case. But tonight here at the Paulding County Sheriff's Office, they're hopeful they could be getting a little closer to that answer.
Nothing makes sense, and I do not believe that she committed suicide.
The aunt of Heather Turner, a woman found shot to death in the bathroom of her Paulding County home, strongly believes her niece was killed.
Anyone would not shower and then shoot themselves when they are wet and naked.
The only other known adult in the home that day in May of 2017 was Turner's husband, a pastor in the community. Her husband called 911 claiming his wife died by suicide. But 5 years later, the Paulding County Sheriff's Office still isn't convinced.
Right now, the death investigation for Heather Turner is still an open and active investigation. I feel like we've got more intelligent information about this case now than we ever have, really, to be honest.
Paulding County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Ashley Henson told me the department still doesn't classify the case as either suicide or homicide. He told me more cooperation from Turner's husband could help them resolve it one way or the other.
We would love an opportunity for him to come in and speak with us. That's something that has not occurred. We've not had a formal interview, and we would love for that to happen.
So we decided to call him. Just wondering if I could talk with you for a few minutes. He told me he couldn't because he's under contract for a book and a movie about the case. Wouldn't just want to tell us, if you had anything to do with what happened. He told me that was a silly question, but it's also a question Henson told me he's determined to find the answer to.
We want justice one way or the other for what took place. If it was a suicide, if it was a homicide, whatever the case is, we want to give this family some closure.
But Heather's family strongly believes that the sheriff's office is not moving fast enough. They say 5 years is way too long to wait. We also want to make it very clear tonight that Heather's husband has never been called a suspect in this case. Wendy?
A lot of my friends that said, man, you outpunted your coverage when you married Heather. But see, what they don't realize is that I chased her until she caught me. Why you laugh at that?
We didn't get to talk very often. And I would say, Heather, I want to see you. And she would say, I know, I miss you too, Aunt Sissy. I'll talk to Andy. But I kept seeing on Facebook these photos of the family and matching football shirts or, some theme and travel and all that. And I was just thinking, well, maybe they do have a pretty good life.
We're getting about 5 to 6, sometimes some weeks a lot more, just messages on our Facebook and emails and texts saying, how in the world do y'all have this happy marriage? Is it real? Or is it you just married on Facebook?
But we really do like each other. No, we genuinely do.
And I never dreamt that it could lead to this.
Andy and Heather Turner Facebook post. Dated November 12, 2015. Heather writes, So Andy had been out of town on a business trip, and I somehow managed to confuse the date he was due back. He picked up on my mistake quickly, but didn't correct me as he decided to use that to his advantage and surprise me. Most husbands would simply come through the door and say, Honey, I'm home. Oh no. Not my husband. He sends me a text at 10:30 p.m. asking me to go out to the car and hunt a business card so that he can call a customer the next morning. So I throw on a robe, flip on the porch light, and head to the car. While I'm sitting there searching for a make-believe business card, I hear the front door creak open. I assumed it was probably my cat going inside, but I stopped what I was doing and went to check anyway. The front door was open much wider than it would have been if a cat had slipped in. I went inside and then heard the cat outside on the porch. At this point, I'm freaked out. I had just watched Taken and my only thought was, oh my god, someone is coming to get Lexi. So I dashed through the living room to get to her bedroom and stop whatever kidnapping my mind was creating, and my wonderful husband, who was hiding in the corner, grabs me from behind, covers my mouth, and begins to drag me backwards. Keep in mind I still had no idea it was him. I freaked out. Fight him off. Grab your gun. Was the only thing going through my head. However, the only person I managed to hurt was me when I hit myself in the eye while elbowing my dear husband in the face. Laughter. I hear laughter, and I now know that my intruder is none other than Andy Turner. He lets me go, and fear turned to anger as I called him every ungodly name I could think of. Then anger turned into some unnamed emotion, and I started crying. He stood there doubled over laughing. 20 minutes later, I'm still in the fetal position, and he's still laughing. He's in big trouble. Heather.
Why are you laughing, babe? What's funny?
Nothing, Doc.
What's funny? Tell me what's funny.
I'm just happy. Can a guy be happy?
Why are you happy?
Can I be in a good mood?
Why are you in a good mood? What causes just this unprovoked laughter while you're laying in your recliner?
You know, sometimes
just tell me.
I think back and just remember events from my life that I enjoyed.
And what would you be remembering right now, dear? Tell me what you're remembering.
That I'm a cat. Well,
you're lucky to be alive because
No. I'm not lucky because not only did you punch yourself and hit nobody else.
Well,
if I would have been an attacker, you would have beat yourself up for me.
No, that's an attack method. That's an attack method. And then the attacker would be like, oh, she crazy. She hitting herself in the face. Let her go, guys. Let her go. And then I go get my gun and I shoot you in the head.
Now, how was you going to go get your gun?
I was going to get away.
Oh, you was?
Yeah.
By hitting yourself? That's a great plan.
Jesus is not happy with you today.
Yeah.
Jesus is not happy.
Jesus loves me, and I have a unique set of skills.
You have a unique sense of humor is what you have. You should be ashamed and crying. I had to ask God to forgive me for cussing at you.
I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Shut up.
Did she, as your friend, confide in you about her home life?
She would just be like, you have no idea, Rob. He's out of his mind. She started confiding in me and telling me that she wasn't married. And
what?
I said, what do you mean? She said, I've never taken vows with him. She said, he falsified the name of the minister who was going to marry them, and he turned it in a probate court, and it got filed and legally binding document. And then it kind of went into hyperspeed.
Hi TikTok, this is Heather Turner. Heather was found on May the 4th, 2017 with a gunshot to the head. According to her husband, Andy Turner, Heather had fixed all of his favorite dishes the night before for supper. Then they had husband and wife time all night long. Somewhere between 5:30 and 6 a.m., she got up to get ready for work, went into the bathroom. He heard the shower running, and then he heard a gunshot. He was still in bed. He went to the door of the master bathroom and opened it, and Heather was outside the shower with the shower still running. She was in the floor in the bathroom, naked, soaking wet, with her hair wet, with a gunshot to the head. He actually has 4 different stories that I have heard at this point. So I just wanted to clarify, she was not in the shower. The shower was still running, but she had stepped out of the shower for some reason before she supposedly committed suicide. Doesn't make sense to me. And yet, Paulding County, Georgia, Paulding County Sheriff's Department, 5 years later, is still saying her death is undetermined, is ruled undetermined, and there is no person of interest.
Heather
Heather's son was over at Heather and Andy's house with their children for the weekend, and when Heather brought the son back to her ex-husband, he took off his clothes to give him a bath, and their bruises were all over his body. He immediately took him to the emergency room. The police got involved. Andy said that he played football with him. It got a little rough.
Is it just you?
Oh, I got my baby daughter here. In the 911 call, he talks about Lexi being asleep, and nobody knows what's going on except for him.
Andy, where is your daughter? Is she asleep?
She was asleep on the couch in the living room. On the news, Lexi walked in right after it all happened. She seen her mother laying there.
My daughter and I heard a noise and ran to the door, and that's what we found.
The stories don't match.
And then there's this, nearly 12 minutes into the 911 call.
Andy, this is Leonard.
Turner says 2 minutes before he dialed 911, he called his parents who lived 10 minutes away.
Andy called his parents before he called 911. That doesn't make sense.
If I came home and found my wife in that condition, the first thing I would do, call 911.
The coroner's report says Turner was found naked, her hair still wet.
Shower off. You're turning the shower off? I can hear you.
I question the entire shower scenario. Why even take a shower if you know what your intent is?
I'm gonna write, I'm sorry I love you, and then shower, and then commit suicide. Or wait, did I shower and then write the note? Like, this doesn't work.
There are photos of her son's battered body. And so if you could walk me through that.
Yeah, I don't. All of that was handled way back then, and she even handled that and was part of that. I don't want to address that one.
Are there records that we can take a look at just on our end to make sure we're not portraying anything inaccurately?
Yeah, I mean, she went and talked to them, and they closed it. Nothing ever happened because she went and told them what happened that day.
I thought the court took her son out of your home and wouldn't let him come back.
No, that is 100% inaccurate. That never happened. The court was never involved. Never took him out.
I mean, there's a court. There's documents, Andy, that it went through the court.
When I see when people tell you stuff that's false, it's bad. It's been extremely heartbreaking. Nobody understands what it looks like from our eyes.
If this was resolved and it was finally, if the sheriff's department, if the coroner finally checked a box, that this would resolve itself for you?
The truth and the facts are there. And then there's people making up stories that's quite hurtful. And I'm getting death threats. My kids have been harassed at school, and I've been slandered and defamed bad. People on Facebook want to make up stories. I don't know whose friend to throw. Our family is writing a book and a movie about what we've gone through, we experienced from our side. Mm-hmm. So I want to be careful with what I say.
Well, look, if you could reach out to your lawyers and let them know this production would love to have some on-camera time with you.
I'll reach out to them, but I wanted you to have at least a heart knowledge of where we're coming from.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Assaulted and beaten. I told you I was out shopping with my girl. Get your hands off me.
Talking to you like
Stop it. Every day, 4 women are murdered.
Stop. Take your talk.
Yeah, I hate you, bitch. Stop it. Every 9 seconds, a woman is assaulted and beaten. I told you I was out shopping with my girl. Get your hands off me.
Talking to you like
Stop it. Every day, 4 women are murdered.
Stop. Take your talk.
Yeah, I hate you, bitch.
Calling County 911. What are you calling to report?
Wife shot herself after him.
Your wife, where did she shoot herself?
In the head.
Take a deep breath. What's your name?
My name is Andy Turner.
What's your wife's name?
Heather.
May 2017, the coroner of Paulding County, Lindsay Eberhardt, called my secretary, said, I want y'all to know that Heather's body is ready to be released. And my secretary said, what do you mean? She said, well, Heather Turner has committed suicide. I knew Heather, one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, inside and out. And I immediately said, there ain't no way. We sent our guys out to bring Heather to the funeral home. You know, when we unzipped the bag, I knew this beautiful woman, now her face was pretty much gone.
Why are you appearing anonymously?
Heather's case has never been solved, and it should have been solved a long time ago. Being small town, I am in somewhat fear of what could possibly happen to me about saying my opinions and what I've physically seen at the funeral home.
Your wife, where did she shoot herself? In the head.
If someone's going to shoot suicide, normally they're going to put the gun up to their temple. Heather's case, the entry wound was up here. There's no way to get your finger in a trigger inside and turn that muzzle. It would be impossible. Also, where's the bullet, buddy? Where's the bullet?
No bullet was recovered. Also, it noted that there was alcohol present on one of the nightstands in the bedroom, and a wall near the toilet had appeared to be washed.
The crime scene was not processed properly. Things got cleaned. Like, if it's suicide, don't touch a thing. Get them in here. Let's prove this. It's in everyone's best interest.
Okay.
One day, I get a phone call from this lady that was a member of the church, all panicking. Oh my God, have you heard what happened? Have you heard what happened? Andy, he got caught having an affair with Heather. And I said, no, you're crazy. So I called him, and I'm like, Andy, what happened, man? He's like, man, I was counseling Heather and Philip. They was going through some stuff in their marriage, and I got sucked in. I said, Andy, you're a preacher. You're a man of God. You've told me how wrong this is.
You know, it came out that they were having an affair, and it blew the church up.
We have left Paulding County because our next interview is with a funeral director who was a longtime family friend of the Turners, and he lived and worked in that community for years. But now he no longer feels safe even stepping foot there. Hi, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Can you tell me a little bit about why you are staying anonymous on our show?
With Heather's case, there has not been an arrest made. There's a lot of things up in the air, a lot of uncertainties. Am I fear for retaliation for me talking? I have no idea. Just to be on the safe side, that's why I choose to be anonymous.
How many suicides do you think you have dealt with in your career?
Too many.
Yeah.
I'd say 100 or better.
And so when Heather comes in, what are the things you're expecting to see being told it's a suicide?
100% of suicides, an individual that has shot themselves, they have a burn around the entry of where the bullet went in. I call it muzzle blast. When the bullet is ignited, all that comes out and burns the individual's head. Mm-hmm. Heather did not have that. When my associate, he was embalming her and working on her head, he said, I want you to explain something to me. And he pointed out right off the get-go, right up here was the entry wound, was here. I said, where's the muzzle burn at? If Heather really did shot herself, she would have had to, from a distance, use her thumb. Entry here, exit here.
So you'd have to get it high enough and far enough away to not have the muzzle burn.
Yes.
But to get that trajectory.
Sure.
Have you ever seen that in your career?
Never. There's no way.
Heather was beautiful, witty, full of laughter. She was excited about her new life ahead. She would never have committed suicide and left her daughter. She deserves justice. More details at Justice for Heather Turner on Facebook.